something to the idea of being a journeyman, of sort of exploring the vagaries of life and the good and the bad, right? But ultimately, I think the losses do linger extensively longer than do the wins. And I think primarily it's because it's so that we don't repeat those mistakes, right? So they stay with us. Uh, they're battle scars, they're battle wounds, but they're also internal, right? No one can see them. And I have one, and I'll be honest with you, I'm very transparent about this because, look, at the end of the day, it already happened. I learned from it. And so I can come away and extract some wisdom from my idiocy. And one time, and I didn't even realize it, but I was basically trying to be like, I was LARPing as a passport, bro. I thought that I had it figured out. I thought that I could go abroad and find women. So in this case, I was sort of enamored by the thought, the romantic notion of exploring the Dominican Republic, DR. And I had I chatted up with this girl and I was like, cool, I'm going to head out. And then, I was like, it was partly like a trip to just kind of explore and hit up the Caribbean, but it was also to potentially hang out with this girl. And obviously, naturally, guess what happens? Of course, I was stood up. And so part of me was like, well, I mean, it is what it is. I'll do this on my own. And, but naturally, I was a little bit hurt, a little bit sad, frustrated because I was like, damn, like I came all the way over here. Obviously, I felt like shit because I came all the way over here and got stood up by like third world, baby mama, mulatto, pussy. Like that's basically what it was. I was basically stood up so that's what stung even further because I was like, if I wanted to get stood up, I might as well just stay in my own hometown and do it there, But this is where those lessons stay with you. But then also too, like I had not been red pilled about women or dating at that point. So at that time, I still had more of a romantic notion. So obviously, I would never be in a scenario like that ever again. First off, I would never travel somewhere looking for something like that, much less a baby mother and much less someone I don't even know. So those are all just like things that, before you're sort of red pilled on dating and women is like something you don't keep in mind until it happens. And then you're like, okay, well, why did this happen? Well, it happened because I had this romantic idea and that, who wouldn't want to, and that's the part that baffles me the most is like, who would stand up a dude coming this far away? But, like I said, the losses make you better. It's very embarrassing to actually admit that this even happened to me because I'm like, I wouldn't have allowed this to happen now, and that's the funny part is like, I couldn't even imagine getting into a stupid scenario like that and allowing that to happen. It just wouldn't happen. It's just not something that I would even remotely entertain, much less even take serious and book flights for. I mean, that's the thing. I didn't know that was what passport bros do, but that's what they do, right? But my issue was never getting women in the West. That was never the problem. It was that I was looking for sort of an escapade, an escape. I wanted to be sort of like one of these explorers. Like I had that in my DNA, I think, which was to like kind of get lost and in the process of exploring, being around certain types of women. So that was part of it. So it wasn't just entirely that I was going over there simply for some mulatto pussy, It was also just because I also want to explore the beaches and then and the jungle and just kind of see some nature. I was really into nature. So it was for that reason primarily. And then secondary order was obviously the women because they had fame for having, quote unquote, pretty women. I realized afterwards I would never go to a place like that again. It's just not because I took the L, but because I just wouldn't go there for that reason. My taste has changed. My expectations are different. And so I would never go to a place like that again, But this is what happens, right? These are the losses in life. I at least can admit it. Maybe some people are constantly caught up on the idea that I have to defend my image. And that means I have to defend my image against things that potentially could tarnish it. But at the end of the day, these are the things that make you who you are. These are what chisel you into somebody worthy of being listened to. And so if I hadn't done these stupid things, I wouldn't have learned all the things that I've learned, you know. So I came away with some real red pills on women and dating and travel and so on and so forth, and just the realities of going to these third world places is that you're gonna get hustled. You know, people are gonna look at you as a cash cow, as a piggy bank, especially when you tell them from the U.S. They automatically perk up because they know or they think that you're just picking money off of trees. Like they think it's that easy here. Um, and so that's one of the things that you learn right away as soon as you go to these kind of places is that people see you and they have ulterior motives as to what they want to do or what they can get out of you. And so they'll try very hard to latch onto you, which doesn't happen here because unless somebody really wants something from you here, people more or less leave each other alone for that reason. There's definitely not that sort of lingering that happens. But nevertheless, these are the losses, and that's the lesson right there. Just be careful about why you do the things you do and the decisions you make, because there's some real consequences to things not panning out your way. But anyhow, I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next one.